Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back beyond in the top right side, or the bottom right, I should say, on Whispers of Gold. That's right, guys. It's a very gold-themed map pool. He's up against ASTREA, who's on an absolute tear today. This man has been eliminating some of the best in the game in multiple tournaments. He's going to recall. Now, he recalled a bit early. I don't like that recall. Why? I prefer it if you hide in the corner and then recall. Because then, if BYUN doesn't go and check that corner with his Reaper, you can just come back in, harass, scout what he's doing, be super annoying. And he had a few seconds to spare. But you know what? It's not a bad thing either way. Now, like I said, we've got El Dorado. We have Whispers of Gold. Whispers of Gold does have, I just found this earlier today, guys, a crashed battle cruiser here. How cool is that? And it looks like it was rough playing because there's a mule that got dropped to try to repair it before it died. And now the mule's dead too. I think there's also a bunker there. Some cool stuff going on. Pig, is the site Delta build still viable in this patch? Are we still talking about BYUN's site Delta build? Absolutely. It's a decent build order. Problem, 4-gate Blink's very good on this map pool. That build's pretty weak against 4-gate Blink, so I would say it's maybe a little weaker on this map pool. The old 3 command center into 3 barracks build, but you can still whip it out, especially against a guy like ASTREA, who is famously not confident in his 4-gate Blink. He very rarely does it. He just doesn't practice that much. When he does it, it's good, but he rarely has the killer instinct of some other players. Thank you very much for the support, guys. Really helping us support the prize pool of the Pigasaurus Weekly Cup. And really hope we get those ESL Cups back soon. But it is, of course, going to be a while. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, check the Patreon. Links down below in the description of the video. And check us a few dollars if you want to support the channel. If not, no worries. Just hanging out, watching the content, liking, commenting, all helps support us in the algorithm. Now, this is cool because it's an Oracle opening versus Terran. What's not cool is it's going to run into the old Cyclone, guys. Now, for those who don't remember, this is the Tech Lab Cyclone. This thing has ridiculous. It's like 14 or 15 leash range. Once it's locked on, it does massive damage, but it's expensive. It costs 100 gas. You need a Tech Lab to build it. It's hard to get them out. So the problem is we're playing on the PTR. And on the PTR, the Cyclone lock-on range is bugged right now, which means it breaks at 9 range rather than 14 or 15. And that actually makes the Oracle way better than it should be. Normally, the moment you see a... Oh, it doesn't matter, though, because there was a sneaky Widow Mine. Oh, my gosh. It doesn't even matter because there was a sneaky Widow Mine behind the gas. Now, you can see, guys, this is why players hide. Why do players hide it? Because it's hidden, because we're not on a top-down perspective in StarCraft. Other good hiding places are underneath a worker in one of these little pockets where you can't really see the Widow Mine under the SCVs, behind the radar dish on the orbital, or just on the middle top of any building. You'll see there's always like a pointy kind of triangular bit on the top of a starport or a factory or a barracks as well. Now, the Cyclone drop does come in. It gets shut down. There is a Widow Mine in there as well. Wow, a Widow Mine and a Cyclone in a dropship. Not often you see that. Viking coming in the right side as well. Dude, BYUN's bringing back some old TY special builds. I remember distinctly watching TY do this build several years ago on his stream. And every time the Viking would land and kill a probe, he'd say, hello. And then his drop would go back in the main. He'd be like, hello, hello. And it was just the most adorable thing ever because I'd never seen TY speak English before. And I'm pretty sure that was like the only word he really speaks of English confidently. But it was just adorable watching him butcher someone's probes and saying hello every single time in a very cocky, taunting sort of way. It's always good. I like to do the same thing when I'm winning. Nothing wrong with a bit of taunting when you are smashing your opponent. And this is going to be Oracle into Blink into Storm. Good build order. Really good way of taking advantage of the Oracle. You can spam stasis traps down. Stalkers still get good control. And BYUN, with some interesting building placement, it's going to make it hard to blink up that ledge. 3 barracks, factory, starport, 2 tanks out. And of course, he swapped the factory onto a reactor. So just 2 tanks for now should be enough. Stim's miles away. If the Stalkers dive, though, there's way too many units. Don't dive, ASTREA, don't do it. Good pullback. Now, this Widow Mine's a bit of a gamble there. Like this little fuel icon on the ground. Stalkers come in, tanks a shot, doesn't really get anything. BYUN's just chilling. Oh, or is he? Stim's halfway done. He's going to unload in the main, and he's going to try and stim from the corner and kill stuff. But there's a Phoenix waiting for it, which is fantastic. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on what's going on in this, by the way, guys. What do we think is going on here? Is this some sort of mining process? I like to think this is a mining process, right? Whispers of Gold. It looks like there's all sorts of like waste products getting kind of expelled. It's a whole thing. Oh, his medevac. Did it get spotted by a stalker? It must have. He pulled back. Oh my god, does he... No! Oh, did Astraea see it? I don't think Astraea saw. Okay, he gets spotted multiple times. He's like, screw it. Okay, we've just got to unload, clear these pylons. Astraea's map vision is just way too good. Storm almost finished. +1 weapons is on the way. Robo is coming in as well. And this is 6-gate charge Storm. Without a prism, though, the High Templar, not all that powerful. Stalkers on this left side. Looks like the Viking, Reaper, 3 Marines have gone down. He's looking for extra kills, but Astraea's got to be careful. Nice blink backs. Gets himself a Widow Mine. Cyclone will die to just 2 or 3 Stalker shots here. Does go a bit too far forward. BYUN not babysitting that because he's busy on the right side. Oh, Zealot's coming in. Nice feedback. Hey, not bad. Good feedback. Does take down 1 Marine with a Zealot. Marine redrops to kill the pylon. And on that left side, Stalkers. 2 of them go down. He's already lost 2 before that. That's 4 Stalkers have died. But he's going to come forward, take out 1 Widow Mine. Good hold position into the spready. Hold position makes it much easier for you to pull away the unit that's targeted. Let that Widow Mine get deactivated without overcommitting. Now, he does have his High Templar over here, but that leaves the right side and the 4th base very exposed. 2 more gateways are coming in right now, so it's going to be a gate up against a 3rd command center. Is just now about to finish for BYUN. BYUN's 4th and 5th barracks just finished building. He's got a reactor and a tech lab building for those. So he's got his nice production. +1 armor. Ghost Academy very early as well. Obviously, that's very specifically for one reason and one reason only. I want to EMP your Storm Boys. Otherwise, I know I'm in big trouble. Wait, isn't Storm Boys the name of the guys with the jetpacks in 40k? The orcs, right? Those are Storm Boys, right? They have kind of, I know in Dawn of War, at least, they had kind of like World War II sort of uniforms. They had like World War II German helmets, and they had like the German stick grenades as well. Zealots coming in with a drop. Marine Marauder Widow Mine going north. Those are Storm Boys. Okay, yeah, it's a very different image to a floating magic Protoss that shoots friggin' psionic storms on people. Oh! He actually catches it! He gets a medevac there and a Storm of the Marine Marauder. Very nice move for Astraea. Zealots come in and find the 2 tanks as well. Or do they? BYUN's pick up micro. BYUN's pick up micro. No, he's not watching. The Zealots take out the siege tank. That is massive, guys. 2 siege tanks just went down there. Both tanks have been removed from the map. A few more Zealots come in. Prism doing a big warping in the main. But at the same time, those 3 Marines, a thorn in Astraea's side and a bayonet into his probe line. Prism does go down. Those Widow Mines getting some big hits, but the Zealots will clean up the Widow Mines now. The Ghosts do escape, which is kind of nice for those Ghosts. 2 Ghosts going down to a Zealot run by would have sucked. Units lost tab scares me for Astraea right now, because even though he's killing a fair bit of stuff, causing some chaos, I worry that without a 4th base mining, he might be in trouble. Stalkers and Probes will finally defend this base from that. And Astraea actually trading more efficiently. Well done, guys. How many Zealots has he lost? 18, but he's actually killed a lot of Marines, medevacs, tanks, SCVs, and Widow Mines. And I think this favors Astraea right now. Now that he takes the 4th base gases, he fully saturates it with a worker transfer, and he's got double Robo Colossus as well as double Forge on the way. Astraea has just, I feel like watching Astraea and Clem, you can tell these guys have put more time into practicing the patch than just about anyone else. I don't know, like I watch BYUN, I watch a few other players and I go, he's playing good, but he's not really revolutionizing anything. You could argue the Terran changes don't lead you to really being that revolutionary. But I don't know, I really feel like those guys are just using the changes so clever compared to just about everyone else so far. But a bit out of position right now. Astraea thought he was going to get pushed on the left. He moves over there and just leaves himself wide open on the right side. A disastrous mistake. Positionally, this is so bad. Oh, he takes 2 big boom booms, 1 right into the center of his units. And the Storm doesn't really do anything there at all. Where's his Warp Prism for these High Templar guys? He doesn't have it. He's got High Templar scattered around. If he had a flanking High Templar coming in from the right side to storm this army, he could blitz over him. But 12 workers go down now, losing his advantage, and BYUN's right back in the game. 4th Command Center, 2nd eBay, Armory, 3 more barracks. As long as this army can get home, which I think he can, because the High Templar are a fair bit slower than it. He loses a medevac and a Marauder or 2. Astraea does lose a Stalker there, though. I love that BYUN turns to fight him. BYUN with, I would argue, the much weaker tech, but I guess he has the numbers in the Marauder count that he feels confident moving towards him. Now, if we go to Astraea's vision, we've got good observers everywhere, pylons around the map, a couple of Stalkers and a full energy High Templar there. I think we need a few more High Templars scattered around this map, though. And he's going to go Fleet Beacon. He's going to go early Tempests. Yeah, Tempests are good. They're not bad. Storm. Oh my god, another scan barely misses the observer. You're kidding me. Dude, I'd be so annoyed if I was him. This Stalker's been hunting for drops this whole time. Australia does realize, tries to pull it out of it. Another scan goes down, does find the observer that time. What balance changes are Clem and Australia using? Well, Australia is using the energy ability. He used the energy on the Oracle, and we didn't get to see it because it died, right? He made a dumb mistake. But since then, he's playing High Templar, and he's been filling them up with energy as he warps them in really nicely, and kind of moving his play in that direction. We've also got the Tempest only cost 4 supply down from 5. He's using them with early transitions when he can. Clem has been mixing in the Cyclone in a nice way, as well as just moving his builds away from the old Cyclone. He's also been playing some really good tempo plays so that he doesn't get handicapped too hard by the 3 supply Ghost. High Templar. Oh, get spotted. Easy cleanup there. Storm from the south. I do like the Storm from the south, though. He does a feedback. Stalker. I like the idea of coming in with Stalkers and High Templar, because the Stalkers can always blink away if the High Templar run out of energy, but he's going to send another High Templar on that right side. Big Storm could be big. Oh, he gets feedbacks. Feedback's not bad. Takes out 1 Ghost. Another one barely survives. Remember, a full energy Ghost will get 1 shot by a feedback, but it needs to be full energy. If it's even at 199, it will survive just barely. 3 Tempest building right now. Australia's trying to defend 4 bases. 5th base rebuilding on the right side, but this is where Tempests get you in trouble. And this map's really bad for Tempest because you're spread across such a wide front. As we can see, the more mobile player is always going to excel on Whispers of Gold, and it's about time BYUN took advantage of that. You can see the moment he does, he's like, oh, I get to kill probes. I get to kill 6 Zealots in a Nexus and a Pylon. Thank you very much. The trading now going to be 3,000 resources in the favor of BYUN. Scans coming down, seeing where that army is. This is not a big enough army split. He needs a Storm on that right side. He doesn't have it. Australia's army split's not good enough. BYUN's just going to jam it in. I think Australia was expecting him to back away there. That High Templar could fill up the High Templar. Oh, his energy recharge only just came back. He could fill it up and use it, but he's getting engaged on the other side at the same time. Disruptor does whiff completely. It actually dies before it could even shoot. Vikings doing well, and Australia's getting picked apart here. Feels like he was close to playing a very nice game, but instead, things are kind of falling apart. He's taking so much damage in situations where the game's just too messy for him, man. It's a bit too messy. He's got to move one of these observers over. He's got 3 observers right next to each other. Oh, that's bad. He's got to move one of these observers into the middle of this map. I know BYUN's been really good about scanning them, but Australia's got to do that. He's going to go Mothership, +2 air weapons, +3 ground armor. Can carriers be worth it in TvP? They can. I'd say Tempests are the better unit, generally. They outrange the libs, but carriers can be really nice sometimes. They kind of complicate things for the Terran. If the Terran's not keen on playing Vikings at all, they can be good. Because we've already got plenty of Vikings to deal with the Colossus, it's a hard transition to make. Tempest coming forward. Few High Templar around. Got to be careful that Widow Mine. Oh, good blink reaction there by Australia. Nice micro. If you could get this command center in the bottom left, that would be huge. He doesn't know about it. And he's also afraid to move out of the center control. I think Australia should be taking this base here. I think this base up here, if you take that, you should also take this one. But then your main's wide open. And then you should be pushing this right side constantly. I think if you take this as your 4th, or in this case, I guess it was the 5th, but he lost his 4th. Expand down the south. Push this south side, force the fights there front on, because you need to be doing sort of combat retreats. Look out for the snipe. Good High Templar pullback. Stalkers could kill a Ghost. Misses the opportunity. Ghost does go down to the Tempests. Nexus did fall, though. Tempest picking off another Ghost. Nice move, nice move. Stalkers coming forward. Tempest does go down. Can't be affording to trade a Tempest for just 1 Viking. Big Storm! Another High Templar's there. Refill that. Refill that on energy, mate. You got to keep refilling that energy. Oracle's doing good along with the Tempests. If he can refill those High Templar, keep rotating him in and out to the front, it can be massive. I'd also love to see, like I said, those observers shuffle. He shuffled this one down a little bit, but he needs to shuffle another one. BYUN, on the other hand, is doing everything he needs to do correctly. Every second that goes without Australia asserting control, BYUN's running away. 2 more command centers. 2nd armory. He's got already 6 orbitals. He's already at 6 orbitals. And with 2 more command centers building, I mean, he's getting out of control. Australia needs to make something happen. He needs to make it happen soon, because BYUN's just going to have so much money to burn once that mass orbital comes up. Not to mention the map hacks mean he'll never be surprised by anything again. Once he gets to 8 or 9 orbitals, it's looking pretty bleak for Australia. Australia's going to need some excellent engagements, which, to be fair, he has shown excellent engagements, but I'd say with Australia, it's a bit of hit, a bit of miss. When we talk about his late game in this matchup, sometimes it's the most excellent thing you've ever seen, and then other times it's him, getting his army kind of flanked and surrounded, EMP'd, stimmed on top of, and having a bad time. Good storm on the Vikings, mate. Another storm would be massive, but I don't know if he has the energy right now. Disruptor's trying to go out. The Tempest and the Colossus getting hammered. High Templar a little bit too far behind. That storm didn't do too much. Disruptor does end up whiffing. The Vikings all go down, and there's still 2 Colossus in here, though. That's actually well done by ASTREA. Guys, look at that. He's evened out the units lost tab. He kept the 2 Colossus alive. Did he lose a lot of Tempests? Yeah, he lost 3 Tempests. For 19 Vikings. Guys, I don't know about you. If StarCraft was just a game where you just get to pick options that are put on cards in front of you, and you're like, would you like to sell 3 Tempests to kill 19 Vikings? You take that card every single time. You take that option every single time. I mean, it's just massive. And BYUN got a bit overeager, tried to force it. His work account's maybe a bit too high as well. Now that he is up on 6 orbitals, he's got more command centers trying to float out to make planetaries. But ASTREA's got the edge now. BYUN does not have much bank left. He's trying to make ship armor as well as building armor. The Observer's really helping out ASTREA. Not to mention his Oracle management has been excellent. It's easy to look at what ASTREA is doing and sleep on it. He's got to tag the army, keep the Oracles behind. Tag the army, and then kite. Kite, look at that. Disruptor shot, scares away the ground army. Stalker's wrecking the Vikings, guys. Storm goes down on the Vikings. He needs another Storm on the bio, but he gets hit by EMP before it can land. Disruptor did do some damage, though. There's still a Colossus there. The Zealot's coming in also, and ASTREA is happy with these fights. Yeah, he lost a lot of Stalkers, but he's okay with that. He's had 2,000 units in the resources lost. Command Center on the left exposed. Command Center on the right massively exposed. BYUN realizes right now things are looking a little desperate, and ASTREA, he does have a home ground advantage. We're playing US West. The man lives in San Diego. BYUN lives in a little place called Seoul across the Pacific Ocean. It is going to mean he's playing with about 130 ping, I would guess, for BYUN. And ASTREA is going to be playing, of course, with sub 50, maybe as low as 20 or 30 MS ping, which is going to be very, very nice to have that advantage in the micro. That being said, I've seen BYUN beat him in these conditions before in late game. Still a very fragile spot. Maybe BYUN should multi-prong or something like that. It's kind of hard to say because Cannon Battery Storm's so efficient at defending. You split some drops off, it can sometimes be defended by a single High Templar and a few buildings. Disruptors shooting those shots from far away. Very nice. Another one would be good. Tempest does take a shot out. Marauder does take a clip. Single ghost goes down. Marauders and Vikings taking big damage. We've got a Viking run by or flyby in the north side. Mama's there, though. Mama's there. Mama can take on 3 Vikings now, I'm pretty sure. Transferring workers away from this base is ASTREA. I'm not quite sure why. Got scanned there and pulled Mothership back. Moving forward, Planetary's going to go down. Oh, remember the Tempest with Kinetic? Oh, he doesn't have Kinetic, actually. So the Tempest normally wreck Planetaries really fast. He's going to try and recall out. He gets EMP'd and he says, let's get out of here. I don't have any Storm or not much Storm. So he recalls to Mama. Doesn't use the Nexus recall, which is interesting. Maybe he was just a little bit primed and set up to do that already. BYUN's going to jump on top. Dude, I thought things were going really well for ASTREA, but now BYUN finds some ground. Oh, 3 ghosts get boomed. Look at its gun. That ghost gun bugging out there, spinning in midair after getting absolutely catapulted. Where is the energy ability? Oh my gosh, he's already used it, and his High Templar just got double EMP'd. His High Templar just got double EMP'd. ASTREA's getting run over. He doesn't have any backup High Templar. Mama's slow to the party. High Templar on the right. High Templar on the right. He lands a Storm. Time Warp goes down on the landed Vikings. ASTREA needs to get the good fight. He comes in with another Storm on those landed Vikings. Mama with the cloaking field. Mama tanking like all hell. She is smashing through the army. Mama saves the day there. The Stalkers hunt down the Medevacs, and it looked like such a good fight for BYUN. It was for a while. At the end of the day, BYUN is still behind in the units lost tab. What in the hell did we just witness? The fact that this base is unmolested, though, these are the things which could lose ASTREA this game. There are now 7 orbital command centers up. He's going to get this 1 command center, but he needs just a Zealot, a Dark Templar, anything on that right side. He cannot be letting these orbitals just stand there, especially now with sensor towers and turrets getting up all over the shop. Now, there's no high-sec auto-tracking just yet for BYUN. He does only have +1 ship armor, but he's got +3 ship attack on the way. +3 ship attack and +1 armor already done for ASTREA. So ASTREA's a little ahead on those upgrades. His plasma shields are only level 1 though. Can't afford extra plasma shields. They're low priority against a guy who's been very on point with his EMPs. Oh, comes forward with the Marines. Does eat a Storm. 2 or 3 Marines do go down for an Observer. ASTREA's Observers have been big. Oh, EMP's coming in. Morphs the Archon to break that. Tempest's trying to deal with this, but he needs Storms. Oh, he lands a decent Storm, but you gotta have backup High Templar spread far and wide. He's gonna have to rebuild his Observers. He rebuilds 1, which is really important. And I think he's just got to siege this base. If ASTREA can kind of Remax, get the perfect fights, dislodge this, he'll be good. But right now his High Templar are clumped in his army, and he just takes another EMP. It's a disaster. He's got to throw a defensive time warp now, and that's a defensive time warp. It's one he can't even take advantage of in the fight. Straight up, where are your High Templar? He makes another one, refills it with energy. He's got that new get out of jail free card, right? Rather than the battery overcharge, it's a different version, but he's still only got one High Templar there. I'd love to see more High Templar warped in, because right now you've only got one Storm Boy, and Storm is what's standing between you and defeat. This base is going to go down. He's going to have to give it up. Remember, BYUN is max. BYUN has money. It's ASTREA who's in trouble. He cops an EMP. Big disruptor shot. Does take out a few units there. Lots of marauder damage going in. Time warp coming in with Mama, with the cloaking field. Tempest's landing hits on these Viking Stalkers. Disruptors, Immortals trying to fight. But ASTREA, without the backup Storm, you can see that his army, it's always Storm that you need to turn the tables in those late game spots. BYUN does manage to take game 1 and gets revenge for his earlier loss to ASTREA in one of the earlier tournaments today. All right. BYUN with a nice game 1 there. Just stayed calm, stayed confident. He took a few bad fights, just kind of getting baited into the storm, but you can see it's very technical and very difficult to keep setting up those layers of traps. And if at any point you kind of fumble and you get a little bit too panicked and you stop remaking those High Templar, it's just crazy, because there's always this moment where BYUN will press through and you suddenly don't have any Storm left over and you can't quite defend. And you're like, oh no. Now, to be fair, guys, this is actually a Nexus before a Core. Nexus started 27 seconds ago. Core started 22 seconds ago. So Nexus before Core is a bit of a greedy build. But I guess because this is a bigger map, Ultra Love, he's decided he can probably get away with it. Especially if BYUN uses his Reaper to hunt for proxies, since he's not a fan of SCV scouting. Pig, who's the best player in the world right now? I don't think there's any way you can argue against world champion Clem. Clem loses. He's never been as dominant as Cyril in that, like, part of the reason is he just plays every single weekly cup, which like Cyril and Maru and stuff have never done. So Clem plays like 4 or 5 tournaments a day. So you never quite know, is this Clem just like, I'm half awake, half asleep, I'm just going to queue into a tournament? Whereas Cyril only shows up to the biggest events, right? So when Cyril's dominating, you don't get to see that much of him. But Clem is definitely the best player in the world right now. It is impossible to argue that. He won the most recent big tournament. It was the biggest tournament ever in StarCraft 2's history, $400,000 first place. The amount of practice every player put into that tournament, it's hard to argue with. Now, this is going to be a Stalker first Twilight Council opening, guys, for ASTREA into a second gate. Problem with this opening is you don't really get to make use of the energy ability. On the other hand, hey, you've got the Stalkers that built a bit quicker, 27 seconds per Stalker, but 2 Reapers and a Hellion coming in, and we're not watching the ledge, which means those Reapers are going to find an opening. No third Stalker building. He's going to take a fair bit of damage, guys. Shield battery goes down. Keep in mind, ASTREA did not scout this game, so he has no idea what he's playing against. And he's about to find out as those Reapers in the main base cause a bloody ruckus. Hellion does get blasted there. Probes dancing this way, dancing that. Stalkers trying to get on top. Ooh. 5 probes. For a Reaper and a Hellion, that's a great start. BYUN's really happy with that. More than happy. And as the Sentry now comes out, he's going to fill that with energy, except he's not, because he just chrono boosted his Nexus. And he should definitely change that rally point. ASTREA, deep breath, bro. Okay, he's fixed the rally point now. He'll fix that up. He's going to go for a quick third. Very important when you take harassment damage to get a quick third up so you can bounce back. Problem. We do already have the medevac with 4 Marines, 2 Widow Mines, just boosting out across this map. So he's planning to get very aggressive as BYUN, and he's not showing a lot of respect behind it, in that he's not started siege tank production yet, because he knows, hey, I didn't see a lot of gateways, I didn't see a lot of Stalkers. I'm only going to start siege tanks now. It's not like it's the greediest, but I don't think he's super afraid of ASTREA's aggression, and that's part of what I said earlier about ASTREA not having a fierce 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink to me never feels like the most reliable build order. But it feels like having it as an option in your arsenal, something that you're incredibly good at executing, actually just makes it so much harder for your opponents to deal with. Oh, hallucination to take the shot. Would have been better if he hallucinated probes, but hey, either way, it is a bit of energy rather than losing a probe. Very well done. My Anaconda don't want Nyan unless you got BYUN's Hun. Nice. Well done, Twitch chat. Well done. Reaper up and back in that main for more. This time the Stalkers are ready with Blink. And not quite able to get that probe. Good defense for ASTREA. Now, ASTREA is very good at taking a punch and then recovering, right? That immediate third base, the chronos on the probes. This is important stuff. The question comes to, like, what is BYUN's next big push? And is ASTREA ready for that? Will he be able to get back in charge? I think he'll be fine. Robobase down. Stim's just started. I think that gives you enough time to get a Colossus out, maybe even a second one before Any sort of stim drops can arrive. He's already getting an SCV from the low ground. Takes a tank shot, but of course the Stalker shields will absorb that. And he's actually going to go back for more. Oh yeah, super worth. Gets another SCV building that barracks. Dude, if he gets a third one, that would be super annoying, but I think it's more of ASTREA's flavor to actually just back off and say, probably not worth. Oh, he gets it! He gets it again at 99% complete. The barracks that just cannot finish. Oh, but look at that. We don't mind. We don't mind. Might get a kill if he's not careful. Observer comes in on that side. He's going to see him moving out. ASTREA sees BYUN's marine tank moving forward. Stalkers, they'd love to pick off the medevac. They're not going to get it. Good pullback by BYUN. Nice micro. We don't mind managed to kill, I think, a new hallucination over there, which he was going to use to blink into the main, but now he's not able to. Charge is on the way, but he's only got 2 gates in the Colossus. He forgot to start the Colossus. Oh, ASTREA's not playing as clean as he could, guys. Like, the Stalker pressure was good, but it's coming at a cost. You know, he doesn't have that max backs multitasking. He's got a Sentry and a Mortal. He just doesn't have enough units. If he had a Colossus, he'd be fine, but without a Colossus, he's going to let the tank get sieged up, and honestly, I think he's actually in huge trouble. It's not even a big army. BYUN's push is such a small set of units, and yet it's finding an ASTREA that's not quite ready for it. It's not even got stim. Then again, actually, the probe pool's right, kind of nice. The Immortal's going to help out here. The Stalkers will take down the siege tank. He loses a few probes, but you know what? That was a real half-cocked push for BYUN. He kind of sensed that ASTREA was so not ready for it, he decided to commit. But I think he's regretting it now, because you know he thought he would have had stim ready for that. That was such a sloppy cleanup for ASTREA, and yet it ends up being fine, because he can chrono his probes, drop a 4th base if he wants to, and he's got charge almost finished, 3 more gates, double forge finally coming in just before the 7-minute mark. He's going to slowly catch him up with this engineering bay that has +1 almost finished for BYUN. All right, Widowmine goes down. Colossus there. He does like the Colossus. Low ground, high ground, pokey poke. Observer pulls back. Baits a scan from BYUN. BYUN scan wasted. 4th Nexus will go down shortly, guys. ASTREA's almost supply blocked, so he does build an extra pylon. He's going to go build some spotting pylons on the edges as well. He's been so good with his vision. Oh, triple drop, of course. Guys, when BYUN's up against the wall, he knows he's in a hard spot. BYUN always goes for the YOLO. BYUN's answer to hardship is to just grab a knife and stab his way through it. You know, there's a lot of people out there who have different approaches to StarCraft. BYUN's like, me, make YOLO drop. And luckily for ASTREA, that pylon gets cancelled. He just loses a probe, cancels the pylon. He's going to split his army. Stalkers in the main. And they can, of course, blink to the low ground to help here. He was going to drop on the Colossus. He saw the Colossus had no support, so he was going to drop on it. Then he sees the Zealots and the Sentries alive, and he's like, arrive, I should say. And he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe nah. Stalker's going to run away there. Good move. ASTREA doing a good job of fighting for map control. 1-1, halfway done for him. +1 armor, not quite halfway done for BYUN. So the upgrades should start to slowly climb ahead for ASTREA over the next few minutes. On the other hand, 3rd Command Center lands, already 58 workers for BYUN. The Ghost Academy is like halfway done. This to me feels like BYUN, yeah, he's down 12 workers. That's perfectly fine for this stage in the game. I don't think he's in a great spot. Like, I don't think he's like ahead or anything like that by any means. But, yeah, only 2 Colossus and the Robo's idling. That's not great for ASTREA. Where's the Prism, mate? I think he thinks his Prism's building. Or a Colossus. 3 Colossus is the standard number. He starts building Observers now. I'm fine with that. I actually like more Observers on a big map like Ultralove. More Observers is always a good idea. Yeah, BYUN picking up his whole army and trying to just blitz around you into your main base. It's a very BYUN move. Now, big problem for BYUN, guys. He's only got 3 medevacs. Any stim he makes is sacred. Every stim is sacred. He's not going to be able to heal after them. So if he panic stims and ASTREA disengages, does that a few times in a row, he can't handle it. Why? He can't afford to build more medevacs. He has to build Vikings. Colossus is such a big threat, he has to build Vikings. Now, 2-2s on the way. We've got more Observers building as well. I'd like to see a second Robo at some point for ASTREA as he takes his 5th base now. 4th base, 2 more gases, fully saturated. The crowning planet that is cresting its way from a different universe into this one is slowly effusing some sort of blue stuff. Do you guys think that's like bad for your lungs, like asbestos? Or do you think it's more like just being hotboxed in a room with a bunch of people who are smoking an ungodly amount of the ganj? What do you think it's like? If you stand next to this, what effects does that have on your mind or health? Let me know in the chat. Very curious to hear everyone's interpretations. Armory, 2nd Engineering Bay comes up behind the main base. No 4th Command Center just yet. There we go. It's going to go down now. Okay, he takes out an Observer, but there's more where that came from. Right? He pulls this one back. Astrea's like, yeah, you know where it is. You're going to scan it anyway. Might as well just do it. But he's got another one there. Astrea keeping vision everywhere. This is so nice for him. It's actually so nice. And look, he's just going to keep replacing them. He's like, you can scan all day. These are only 75 gas a pop, 25 minerals. They build in 18 seconds. And I can just keep doing it. Now, he's going to disruptors now. Only one robo. Oh my god, that is a scary army. But Astrea's... Oh, he doesn't quite have 2-2. He should he should wait for 2-2. The disruptor dive! BYUN is a crazy person. BYUN is actually insane. It pays off. It pays off. Guardian Shield's kind of helping, but not as much as it could because the Zealots charge out of range. There's like 80 Stalkers here, though. Astrea's 2-2, not quite ready. Dude, getting the disruptor before the shot went off is insane. BYUN just does stuff that it absolutely defies any sort of expectation, and you could tell it shocked Astrea. Astrea was not expecting him to YOLO that hard. He should have had some disruptors extra or some second robo going. He didn't, and BYUN actually gets the best trade he could have. 2-2 kicks in now, but Astrea, you can see he's so upset over the fact that he didn't fight with 2-2. 2-2 finishes and he's blinking into Bio Terran. Not a good move, man. Not a good move. He's got Storm coming in. He's got a good economy. He can recover. That was appallingly bad. Down 2,000 resources in the units lost. Remember, he was ahead before that point. It's not looking good for Astrea, man. That's a situation where, yeah, those bridges are dangerous to move across. You're dealing with BYUN. Part of the frustration of dealing with a Clem or BYUN-style Terran is they literally have no respect for their own safety. And I've said this a few times recently, but it really brings me back. When I look at the way these guys play, I always feel like we need to create an alternate version of StarCraft where there's a little bit of haptic feedback. Where like if like a bunch of your guys get slaughtered for you making a dumb move, you get like punched in the face virtually. Like you, I don't know, like a thing pops out of your desk and hits you in the nuts or something. I don't know. There's such a crazy move to shove across that ramp into a prepared Astrea that you would expect it is there, and then stim on the disruptor, but he does it and it pays off big. And you got to respect what works, man. You got to respect what works. It was absolutely the right decision in the heat of the moment. But Astrea's probably wishing there was a little bit of punishment for those sort of dangerous moves right now when they don't pay off at least. He didn't quite blink in time there. Widowmine does go down. 6 SCVs fell to the Zealot on the right side. Oh, Widowmine goes down. Stalker's going to pull to the left. We've got a 6th base up there. +3 armor, +3 attack as well. 14 gates! Well, Astrea's got good production, but the EMPs, needs that Storm. And he needs Colossus back out here. Without Colossus, it's so hard to take these fights. The EMP is astounding. The amount of Terran is absolutely massive. Oh, there's 2 Immortals in the mechs. EMP is landing on the High Templar, though. No Storm's going to land, but the Terran's not injured. Terran is very injured right now. BYUN, you need to run away, I think. I think BYUN standing and fighting here is so dangerous. One more big Zealot warp in and he might get swarmed. One Storm flanking and he gets wrecked. Astrea's got a lot more bases. BYUN has a 4th base, no 5th base building. But he's going for 3-3, not too far behind. Similar timing to the 3-3 of Protoss. And Zealots run in. Would have liked to see him kill the Sensor Tower just to make it easier for the next one to work. These Sensor Towers, you know, it's kind of funny. I was like, Sensor Tower is going to be worthless. It still seems decent with the new radius. It's definitely not as good as it was, but it still helps, right? You have to build them a bit further forward in more dangerous positions. Does still help. 2 more Colossus building. That's going to bring it up to 3. So I think when he has 3 Colossus, Astrea's back in a decent spot. There are 2 starports with reactors on them, but only 1 Viking building right now. And remember, every ghost costs 3 supply now. Astrea tries to poke it in with the Colossus, doesn't quite find the angle. I'd love to see Astrea replace some extra proxy gates on the sides of these maps. He's going to try and take the top left corner, which I love that choice. I really love that choice, but he's got to go bully BYUN off this watchtower, right? He's got 18 Stalkers, which is a very high number. No Disruptors right now, just Templar and Colossus. Juggling High Templar and Disruptors at the same time is always a hard ask. 2 more Observers building. He's going to try and move those forward. Bullying BYUN off this watchtower is always a good move, but BYUN refusing to give up ground. High Templar lands a big Storm in the middle. I love that Astrea is kind of ambushing him here, there, and everywhere. He's not letting BYUN just push him back to his side of the map. He's rotating everything. He wants to dive on this army. It's a good play. It's a good play. Go for it, Astrea. If he dives on this army and just blinks on it, it's actually super worth. BYUN's army's a bit too split, but because BYUN rolled him so hard in that last game, from a position where it looked like Astrea was starting to win, I think Astrea is playing very cautiously now and maybe should be a little bit more in his opponent's face. He's going to lose that top left next. It's not the end of the world. That was always a little bit of a long shot. Astrea down 3,000 units in the resources lost, but he's got a big bank. And his 3-3's just kicked in. Second Stargate. +1 air weapons. No fleet beacon just yet. He does need it. because we know it's Mama time. I mean, he's one of the best Mama users in the entire world. ASTREA, when he uses Mothership, she tanks well. She drops her time warps, uses fantastic recalls to get on top of stuff. Observers over here. Sees the 5th base for BYUN. Pulling back. Oh my gosh. Storm. It's a good zoning Storm. Yeah, you're gonna have to come with these flanking high temp. I know it's hard. You gotta bring in some flanking high temp. Otherwise, these EMPs are gonna be a real problem, man. Stalkers blink north. The Colossus doing a lot, along with the Archons and the Immortals. More Stalkers coming forward, though. BYUN may have gone a bit too deep. He did cop a bit of a storm. He's tried to chase ASTREA home, and he's going to have to tuck this one away, zip himself up, and wait until he's recovered. Let the units heal, rebuild the Vikings, wait for +2 on the ships. We also haven't seen a lot of Lib range, have we, guys? Now, Lib range has been reverted to its previous state on this patch, in this PTR. Still good. But I think because he knows that ASTREA likes to play Tempests, he's maybe just thinking, not going to work that well. Ooh, here we go, guys. Viking Bio Ghost coming forward. Observer goes down. Big storm. I mean, it's a big zoning storm. Doesn't really do big damage. Vikings moving to that left side. ASTREA's not really got... Feels like a way of making a play right now. I feel like he's zoning and he's kind of waiting for BYUN to make mistakes. I think that's fair, actually. I think that's a good strategy. We saw that BYUN, you know, even in this last series of fights and the last game as well, he will overcommit. You just need to have so many layers of splash damage backing you up, which he doesn't have right now. If you're waiting to bait him into traps, you can't just be relying on this single High Templar because you just used your energy overcharge. He's going to see it coming. You're going to get EMP'd. Storm! No, he gets EMP'd. Doesn't have a storm. He's going to need to be bringing these... I feel like we need a Templar there. We need a Templar here. We need these guys to come in after BYUN gets lured into the trap, and that'll be big. Colossus did get hammered down there. Fusion Core's on the way. Tectonic Destabilizer's coming in. Dark Shrine as well. ASTREA gets a good disruptor shot. Lands on the Ghosts. Blasts a few of those bad boys down. Ooh. Archons here, Zealots, Stalkers, Disruptors, Zealots coming in from all sides. Bio Ghost trying to hold their ground. A lot of the Stalkers stuck behind each other on the left side of this fight. An awkward fight angle for ASTREA, but as the Zealots come through with his massive reinforced potential on 14 gates and a Disruptor shot from the right side, putting those Vikings deep in the red. A bunch of the Bio picks up and gets out of there, but the Vikings go down. It's a massive turn in the battle in favor of ASTREA. And like I said, he's always going to overcommit. BYUN knows one thing. He like click with his important thing. He get excited. He see Protoss. He think, ooh, Protoss. Me like touch Protoss. And he's not going to resist, man. You can take BYUN in the club. You can sit him down. Now, here's the rule, BYUN. First rule of Protoss Club. Don't touch the Protoss. They dance on the tables for you. Don't touch them. Dude, 2 minutes in, he's already just done 3 shots, and he's getting all handsy with everybody. Not even the people on stage, his buddies as well. BYUN is always going to get aggressive. If ASTREA keeps setting up these traps in this series, I think BYUN will take the bait. Liberator's coming forward. Storm could be big! Massive! Suddenly Storm does come down. Stalker's going to take out a few of these Libby Libs. Nice blink back. The Orbital does escape. BYUN chasing a superior force right now may not be the best decision. Marauder and a Marine do get clipped by Disruptors and they go down. Man, where are the High Templar at? Okay, we got 2 more High Templar here. I'd love to see an energy used on those, but it looks like he just used it on something else. What did he use it on? Oh, no, it just came off cooldown. Must have still been on cooldown from earlier. Here we go. Tempest coming forward. Stalker Zealot. The Bio Army just doesn't have any support. No Vikings left. Very few Ghosts. 3 supply Ghosts does make a difference as well. Remember, over time it will. Whenever you're maxed out, his army's just a little bit less density to it. Liberator's being queued up to go and harass. But look, there's mass cannon battery on the sides. ASTREA's making sure he does not lose that corner base. Because he knows, I mean, defending the top left is kind of tricky, but that's kind of the other one that he's going to struggle to defend. 2 more Stargates do come in. We've got, how many Tempests now? 4 Tempests, 16 supply of them. Dark Shrine coming in as well. Ooh. Here we go, Tempest coming forward. Lib's getting smushed. Very nice, very nice. Oh, I think ASTREA's got this. I think ASTREA's got this. And in the frontal fights, it really does feel like Protoss, if they play perfectly, probably has the edge. But then I watch Maru in this situation, And I don't know if I've ever seen anyone beat Maru in this situation. He just goes like Viking Lib, Ghost, and micros perfectly like a beast. Starts nuking you positionally as well. That's one thing which BYUN could have used a bit more of in this game. BYUN very much is kind of just going back and forth, and it feels like he's waiting for ASTREA to make a slip up, get all of his splash damage EMP'd, get caught a bit too far forward so you can jump on him, but feels like BYUN's pressed into a corner. ASTREA is not making those mistakes anymore. He's not panic controlling. He's got a control group for his Tempest. He's got his High Templar all scattered around, spread out. Vikings are going to dive there and take out 2 of those Tempests. Super worth. Going for the Colossus now. The Psystorm does answer as that Colossus backs away. And the Colossus need to get out of there, man. Finally, the Stalkers go forward and punish those Vikings, taking 2 of them out. But 2 of the Colossus are deep in the red. Chat says, wow, Protoss Broodlords are good. Always have been. But rare that Protoss can get to the position where they are able to, you know, spot the army, pick away with the Tempests, use the Storms to cover the pullbacks. There's not many Vikings left. How many gateways do we have? Still 14. So ASTREA's on 4 Stargates, 14 gateways. Is he only on 1 robo still? He's on 2 robos. Ooh. BYUN's letting him in. I don't know if you want to go in there, ASTREA. Yeah, I think split the Zealots in is fine, but you got to be careful, man. Because now the positioning, like BYUN's like, this is good. Like anytime you don't know exactly where my main army is, I might find an angle on you. But if you know exactly where I am, that's a problem. So he's now kind of working his way back around. Going to clear this up. Ghost Academy might go down, but he's already started building a new one. ASTREA's just going to pull those Zealots away. Main army still derping around. Mama's coming in. If I was ASTREA, guys, I'd throw 20 probes away right now. I talked to him about this 2 weeks ago. After the cup, I said, if you don't mind a little bit of advice, I'd really love to tell you something. Because there was multiple games like this, and he just never threw his probes away. And he'd lose these maxed out battles way too much. And that's exactly what's about to happen in this game. He's so far ahead, but if he loses this maxed out battle really badly, he loses the game. Like, he needs to run home right now. He's got 1 High Templar coming in for reserve. That's not enough. He's got 3 High Templar on the map. 1 up there, 1 there. And, oh, I guess there's 2 in his main army. That High Templar just gets caught. Must have accidentally got sent in. He needs to, and he's building Tempests. Tempests are good. They're not going to make up for, look at the army supply difference. BYUN just needs 1 good fight. Then you might say BYUN's doing a silly all-in. He's not as in good of a position. Guys, just watch him win this game. I honestly don't think ASTREA can do it while down 35 army supply. He needs more High Templar spread out. He needs more Zealots. He just needs more stuff. And he doesn't have it right now. He doesn't have many cannons and batteries, except on the edges of the map. They're guarding the edges. They're not helping in the middle. EMPs land. There is still a High Templar there. Disruptor lands decently. He's going to need another Storm, though. He loses the High Templar. Where are the High Templar, guys? There's only 1. It doesn't have energy. He's trying to fight right now. Remember, ASTREA is still down 15 army supply. He does get a few good Tempest shots. He's got a single Dark Templar slowly denying that command center. BYUN needs that fight, though. BYUN pulling back here, it's really bad for him. It's great for ASTREA. Anything that buys ASTREA time is good, because I'm telling you, if BYUN pushed in and got on top of his production, ASTREA loses this game. And that could still absolutely happen. We've seen ASTREA really struggle in these scenarios before. 1 Disruptor, 1 High Templar is not enough splash damage to deal with that Bioforce, and he seems to not be aware of it. Time Warp might help out, though. Mama comes in with a Time Warp. Doesn't get much done with it. Love the Widowmine there as well. No detection to deal with that. Gonna have to blink and let the Tempest clear the Widowmine. Okay, we've got more cannons building the top left. Plasma shields, air armor. I love these details, but look at this. There's no way ASTREA is mining with all of his workers efficiently, is he? He's got idle workers there. He's actually mining pretty darn efficiently. He's got 21 out of 8 here. If he spreads those around, I think he should just honestly throw them away. And there we go. He's going to do it. But notice how the game had to slow down enough for him to do this. So the reason I'm pointing this out is not because I think ASTREA is bad or dumb or anything like that or whatever other dumb stuff critics, critical people, haters would say. It's because I'm realizing that it's not something that's programmed into his play. It's when the game slows down, he has a minute to think about it. That's when he does it. And at this level, you're rarely going to get that minute to stop and think. Vikings getting a Colossus and a Tempest. Feedback's very nice. He's very good with his feedback micro, but he's a bit clumped here. He's got to pull behind the mass cannon battery. Bio's going to stim in for it. Nice Storm. And I think attacking into that is a crazy move for BYUN. I mean, this just makes... There's no way this is good. BYUN, come on, mate. BYUN, get out. I think he feels he's got to defend this base, so he's like, well, I've got to push through, but there's no way. There's no way, man. There's a Hearthstone of cannon battery outside your base. There's a Hearthstone of cannon battery, and it's looking like BYUN's losing hope now. His army supply is no longer as big as it was. ASTREA sacrificed 14 workers, giving himself a little bit more maxed out army supply, and I think it's just looking way better for him. Keep in mind, in terms of dead supply, you've got a few observers, not really helping you in the fight, 71 probes, that's about it. For Terran, it's just the 64 SCVs. Everything else is pretty much with this army here. Good Storm does land. Oh, Vikings starting to get hammered by the Stalkers. I think it's a good fight so far for ASTREA. He's recalling something. What's he recalling? A High Templar? Mama! Mama's back for action. And BYUN's just so poor. Is the PTR got mostly shorter games? No. Yeah, I mean, so far, yes. But that's just what happens on any new map pool with new balance patch. People are figuring things out. You're not really going to be able to test that until it's actually been out for a long time. Yeah, a Hearthstone of cannon battery is where you build like a silly amount. Actually, guys, does this look kind of like a shuriken? He's got this like weird cannon battery placement pattern. It's like he's trying to put like a little Protoss decal down or something. If Mama is Mama, who's Daddy? He left years ago. His name's Bobby Kotick. And he left Mama on her own, but she's doing just fine without him, okay? Viking Ghost Marauder coming forwards. High Templar doing what they can. Dude, BYUN still has a chance. He's not dead. He's losing. He's definitely losing this game. Because ASTREA's mining both corners and they're trading evenly, right? So BYUN's going to run out of resources earlier. It's just... It's very hard for ASTREA to finish it, and I still worry that his High Templar might just get a bit too clumped to get sniped down. Alright. Loses one. 2 High Templar with energy just went down. Nice move. Lovely snipe. Tempest getting jumped on. Disruptor goes forward. Where's his guys, he's only got 2 High Templar. One of them's out of energy. He's got 1 Storm on the right side. 1 Storm on the right side. He has an energy recharge, but it's not being used. Is he doing well enough with the ground army? I think he is, though. The Colossus, the Tempest, the Immortals, the Stalkers fighting in an arc, and BYUN was not able to break through. Remember, those big warp-ins of 14 units at a time can be game-changing. He's got so many more Zealots on that right side. That was probably BYUN's last-ditch effort, because if he can't punch through there, these bases are still mining. ASTREA's got too much of an income tail, whilst BYUN is using up his last resources. This base will mine out in about 2.5 minutes. This base here is going to mine out a bit slower. Like he's got a good, 8 minutes plus of mining there, depending on how long he's milling for. But one base mining is not a very rapid rate. Not when you're trading armies this big. Cannon battery trying to go down. ASTREA is trying to spend his money to build a bit of insurance. Oh, here we go. Oh, Oracle goes down. Nice EMPs. The Vikings not in a high enough number to really take care of the Tempest, though. So even if you jump forward, I just don't think there's enough scariness for BYUN here. Like, he needs more Vikings. He's got 6 building right now. Storm! Oh my gosh, BYUN, get out of there. Run! Oh my god, 2 Marauders and a Ghost go down. He's got to run. You have to run, BYUN. You got to run, man. You got to get out of here. He just keeps going forward and getting clipped. My lord, that is a bad place to be a Ghost or a Marine. Bring it up to a total of 39 Ghosts slayed this game. 72 Marauders, 150 Marines, 15 Widowmines, 75 Vikings for 16 Tempest, 9 Colossus, 5 Archons. He scans the corners and he goes, oh man, there's still a fair bit of mining here. And I think BYUN's feeling a little helpless here in the late game. ASTREA working so hard, working so many edges and advantages to slowly close this out. But, man, it's arduous. It's so difficult for him to actually finish him off. And BYUN splits to the left, takes the Watchtower off him. Does force him back. Thank you very much for the sub, Big Brain Ahab. Uh-oh. Oh, Disruptor! Does take out only a single Ghost in the end. The last minute split. The last second split does work out. Disruptor shots clipping single units pretty well. Storms landing across the left flank. Stalkers will take care of the Vikings, but oh my gosh, at what cost? BYUN gets an amazing fight. It's an incredible engagement. Dude. High Templar, though. High Templar lands a big storm. A second big storm. Zealot warping on the left side could do something. Tempest's coming in with Mama. 4 new Tempest. Mama. She's going to slap a Time Warp down. It's decent. She's very tanky, remember. Not a lot of units that do damage against this right now. And remember, ASTREA has bank. He's going to win not with style, not with class. Let's be honest, guys. That Ghost just got crushed by the rocks. BYUN killing his own Ghost as he tries to stop the army chasing him. He's going to win with his AMAX, guys. This is not... Like, there are people, who are really legitimately good F1 drivers. And then there's that guy whose dad owns the team, and so he gets to drive fast car. Right now, ASTREA is that guy. Let's be real, guys. He's winning with money. When you're building cannons outside your opponent's base, you're winning with that cash dollary do. You're winning with just in your face, I have more buckaroonies than you do, mate. And you just cannot handle my bankroll. GG. BYUN put up a good fight. There was a few moments where I thought he'd make that crazy comeback, but I was wrong. I called it, saying he was going to catch ASTREA out. ASTREA stayed determined, stayed focused, and he wins. Game 2 to tie up the series 1-1. All right, guys. BYUN in the top right side now. After losing that epic game, ASTREA won it. Took a few minutes break. As did I. Let's see if my voice survives, as we are 8 hours and 20 minutes into my live stream. And turns out when you're live streaming, you're talking pretty much the whole time, so my voice is not feeling great, but I've got some hot water. Just got some 70-degree water out here in my little thermos, so you guys are going to hear me pausing to sip some hot water throughout. Now, I don't actually follow F1 at all, so for any F1 fans, you know, you can let me know if I'm off base. Twitch chat's just been telling me, apparently, I think his name's Stoll, is not the worst. He might be the second worst out of the F1 drivers. So he's still obviously fantastic compared to a normal driver. And, you know, it's not like he doesn't belong completely. People are saying it's apparently LeBron James's son plays for the team he owns, and he really doesn't belong at a professional basketball level. I know nothing about basketball, but that's interesting. I mean, he'd probably be good for learning and getting the opportunities. But I imagine far too often, right? You give your kid all the things you didn't have, right? And then turns out to be great at something, sometimes you need to have a bit more hardship. I don't know. And sometimes being great's probably not the most psychologically healthy either, is it, right? I don't know, man. I look at Cyril literally be 0.3 seconds late on building a drone and just like the utter disgust on in his face. And I go, yeah, I think I can live without that level of need for perfection, you know? Like I think I'm probably happier as just dumb pig over here, you know, being like, oh, I was 33 seconds late on my second lava inject. Damn, you know? I don't know. That's, you know, there's a price for greatness, guys. That's what I'm saying. I think we'd all like the results of a guy like Cyril. We like the ability. We just don't want to pay the cost to get there, you know? You know what I'm saying. All right, Reaper's moving forward. All right, Reaper's bouncing around. Okay, it's going to be a blink opening yet again for ASTREA. Now, is this going to be... Wouldn't it be funny, guys, if we... Oh, did he just cancel... Is that a battery down there? I think it was a battery. Did the Reaper see it? No, the Reaper didn't see it, but I think he's just like, yeah, whatever. Probably don't need it. And ASTREA now, he's going to go... Oh, is he going 4-gate blink? Oh, my lord. He might 4-gate blink. Right now, it's just 3-gate. Let's see if he starts a 4th. He's going to use the Sentry hallucination for high ground vision because he's already got the energy. So he's already got a hallucination. He'll have another hallucination just naturally ready from energy regen by the time his Stalkers are ready to blink forward. Yeah, 4-gate. It's 4-gate blink, guys. 4-gate blink, but guess what? You don't need a Robo. Now, to be fair, you can't do as much fancy stuff because you don't have that Robo. Stalker's moving forward. He's going to send 2 Stalkers south to try and intercept. And BYUN realizes that's going to happen, so he tries to pull to a different angle, trying to wait for that hallucination to run out. Stalkers catch it. Hallucination should be able to track on. But no, he's not watching. ASTREA misses the medevac. And he should be able to move forward now. Raven's coming out as well. He sees the Raven. I mean, ASTREA's thinking about a 3rd base. He's already got that 3rd gas coming down. Extra pylon building here. A few Stalkers warping in up top. And this is kind of interesting because the Sentry needs to go back for more energy now to make sure he can keep blinking up on that high ground. There is only 1 tank and a handful of Marines at home. But this is ASTREA embracing an incredibly micro-intensive moment where he's going to have to deal with auto turrets, Widow Mines, with nothing but a Sentry at home. And he's only got a handful of Stalkers on the front, right? And whilst they do beat everything that BYUN has he got the APM to handle it? Because you know BYUN is about to dance with you, and I hope you're ready. I hope you got your dancing shoes on, ASTREA. And he does. Pulls the probes away from the Widow Mine. Raven's going to hit his natural. Only loses 1 Stalker in the main so far. He needs another hallucination, but that's a lot of fancy stuff to manage when your opponent's wrecking you with Widow Mines and auto turrets, and he's losing too much mining time. He needs to just bust the natural, but there's a tank there. Tank is way too far forward for safety, but it actually works in BYUN's favor as the Widow Mines go off. 8 probes have gone down on ASTREA's side of the map. And that's what I was talking about, the multitasking. It's such a chaotic situation, and when you've got to handle hallucinating just to have the ability to potentially blink in there, it really is an incredibly hard to execute build order, and ASTREA does it in such a cool, creative way. I feel like if Max did it like this, he'd absolutely slay because he skips the robo, gets a harder, faster timing, gets a quicker third base behind it, and is more used to the crazy 4-gate blink kind of multitasking. But ASTREA's never been like a 4-gate blink guy, really. So even though he does it in such a cool way, it's just such a big skill test to manage that and deal with the Widowmine drop at home at the same time. And I think he's done for now with this pressure. I think he's just got to chill out, back off, leave some units at home because he didn't... Oh, he's left nothing at home. And he's actually pulled off gas. He's swapping to mass charge. Okay, yeah, ASTREA knows he's behind and he's going to play a 300 IQ plan. Now, in normal game plan, pulling off gas completely and then going just double upgrade mass zealot is the lowest IQ plan ever. But if you're really behind in a game, you're taking lots of damage, things are kind of awkward and messy, just going mass zealot is actually a really good way of simplifying the game and saying, look, if I get to 1-1, if I get to mass zealot on 3 or 4 mineral lines, we can absolutely just swarm over BYUN's big stim push. And remember, we killed stim, so we know his stim's a bit late, his push will be a bit later. We can actually get some stuff done. I do think leaving no stalkers at home, though, is a disaster. I really think this is very bad for him. I think he should have had 2 or 3 stalkers here. Kill this bloody Raven. There's no reason to let it just sit there right now. And you can see the Raven's going to try to run past. 1-1 upgrades and charge are on the way, but the Raven sees it. That's a real bummer, man. The Raven seeing that it's gone 1-1, that's rough. Because that's a pretty early double forge, and that might tell him what you're doing. 4th Nexus starts up. He should be back on gas now. He desperately needs to go back on gas, guys. Like, I get Zealots the most... But then again... Yeah, he's already got to 8 gateways. He needs to go back on gas for sure. There we go. He's starting to rally workers back onto these gases now. 2 on each. So 3 gases, each with 2 mining. He's trying to be as worker efficient as he can to catch up with BYUN. But BYUN's still got a 20 army supply advantage. +1 finished. Stim finished. Shields finished. Concussive on the way. 4th and 5th barracks building. 3rd command center building. And the bio stims forward to push those stalkers back. Now, 14 stalkers is a very good force to slow down your opponent's push. If you can just get on top of him with zealots as well, that'd be great. But ASTREA should be hiding these zealots and really waiting for one more round. If he can jump on this from all sides, it'd be great. He's giving it away too early. If he gets one more warp in, he crushes this. He needs to hide the zealots and flank this army. If he flanks this army with everything, I don't think that Mr. BYUN can handle it. BYUN sees the zealots and keeps pushing. Mad Lad doesn't respect the zealots at all. The stalkers blink in from the side. Widowmine lands a good hit. Zealots taking some big Widowmine hits. He's trying to hunt him down, but a good pullback for BYUN. And you see, with pro game and micro, zealot surrounds just aren't that amazing. They're pretty amazing at my MMR, right? And if I'm playing 5.5k Protoss, I'm surrounded Terran left, right, and center, man. But I start playing those 6k plus Terrans, and they slip out of these surrounds all the time. That's why you really need to be so fantastic at getting a 360 or at least a 270. If you just come in from 2 sides like he did, it wasn't even quite a 180. It's a bit too easy for the Terran to just pull away and get out of trouble. That being said, Raven does go down. ASTREA does have a very nice 66 probe 4-base mineral income, but he's stuck on 1-1 upgrades, hasn't started 2-2, and BYUN's in his face just kiting him to death with the biomine. And now that, you know, BYUN's got you pinned, the Zealots need to start counterattacking. Still got the gateway up there, which could be effective. Still looking for that one big Hail Mary surround is ASTREA. He's got 2-2 started up. BYUN pushing into him, though. The micro is just so bloody good. Look at that. He's just going to stim on top of the Nexus. Widowmines will get some beautiful shots. Stalker's trying to take out the Metavacs. Force fields come down. It's okay, force fields, but not enough to really trap him and hold him in place. BYUN stuttering his way out of trouble. I love ASTREA's build order. This is just like such a classic ASTREA build where I'm like, man, if he had 50 reps with this build, I think it's god tier. Like, I want to see him keep practicing this build, mix it into pretty much every best of 5 he plays, mix it into every second best of 3 he plays, but he needs more practice with it. All right, we got an audio issue, guys. I'll fix that after this game. Looks like it's about to end anyway. BYUN's about to take down ASTREA. Apologies for the game audio. That does bug out occasionally. It is a known issue with the beta version of the audio capture I'm using. Dude, is ASTREA hanging in this? Let's go to ASTREA's camera, see if he can survive. Alright, that should fix the audio. You guys let me know if that sounds any better. Or if you can't hear it at all now. And we'll see how we go. Dude, ASTREA's still not giving up. Trying to hang in there. Zealot Stalker doing what it can. Yeah, when I just unplug my earphones and plug them back in, it resets it. And BYUN gets the win there. Does end up getting the 2-1 advantage. All right, guys, BYUN in the top right side of the map. Sorry for the audio issue just there, but it's all fixed. It's a double gas build again. Up against ASTREA. He's going to be doing a second gate proxy. Remember, Stalker's build 3 seconds faster. This build should be a little bit better. Number 1. Number 2, BYUN not scout. When was the last time BYUN scouted? 17 years ago, before his dad slapped him in the head and said, "We don't scout in this family, son." And BYUN was like, "Yes, Dad." And since then, he's never scouted. His name's BYUN. He thinks scouting's for idiots and losers. He prefers to have the extra minerals. And it does mean, you know, you really do have more urgency on your push doing damage because he's more efficient. He's going to build that Reaper. Now, to be fair, he very rarely checks behind his natural. He normally checks the 3rd and 4th for proxies. Let's see if that's the case. The probe should go hide up here and do the recall, make it look like a normal game, in my opinion. Now, he's going to go, should be going Zealot, right? Is he not going to bother with the Zealot? Interesting. I guess he's just going to say, well, screw it. It's all about Stalkers. Or maybe Adepts from this side and then Stalkers from this side, because the Adepts will get across the map faster. Nexus is there. SCV is getting attacked. He's not going to bother recalling it, apparently. Reactor does go down. And there we go, guys. Cybercore's finishing. It should be Stalker from the front, Adept from home. Stalker from the front, nothing from home except Warp Gate, and now Adept. Okay, yep. Interesting. So this is like a I want to do some damage build. And to be fair, if he doesn't show the Stalker, he might come build a command center next to you. But no, he's building the command center on the high ground. Command center on the high ground. First Stalker's here. We need another Stalker. There we go. 50 gas. Immediately queues up the second Stalker. Okay, going for the reactor. Nice move here for ASTREA. Let's see what damage he can get done. Reaper's going to be a nuisance. Does go for a grenade on top of the Stalker, which is kind of a crazy move. SCVs are going to try and surround Stalkers. Happy to dance here, getting as much damage as it possibly can. Got to be careful of the surround. If the SCVs get us around, they could take you down. We all know that workers are the hard counter to the Stalker. And there we go. He doesn't want to get trapped inside. If he moves inside, the depot is going to cause him problems. Widowmine, a fantastic unit to defend this sort of pressure. And I think ASTREA, not really finding much damage at all. A little bit of mining time, and that was it. And this is why BYUN doesn't scout, guys. Because there's literally nothing you could do. To be fair, if he went gas command center on the low ground, if he didn't go double gas, any of these things would have been good for ASTREA. But the way this one played out, if they go double gas, they're very safe. There's a part of me that's frustrated looking at that. Oh, good unburrow on the Widowmine there for BYUN. And he manages to get it reburrowed, surviving on 3 hit points. Now, you can use the Shade there to dodge the Widowmine. He's going to try and use it, but no, he goes for it a bit too late. Thinking about taking that shot to the face. I do like how he uses the Adept to spot the high ground vision. But you can see now the way he's trying to get vision there, trying to do damage. It's just not quite good enough. The tank comes up. Marines on the right side, tank on the left side, SCVs with the repair, and a Stalker gets blasted. ASTREA has to go for plan B. Twilight into a second gateway. I do miss that these gateway proxy builds just never seem to find the mark in pro play. I was really hoping with this patch, the Stalker's building a bit faster. We might see them more, because I feel like the lack of fear guys like BYUN and Clem have, who are 2 of the best TvP players in the world, right? Probably 2 of the most consistent online. Add Maru and Kua in the mix if you want to go, you know, at lands as well. But I really feel like they get away without ever scouting versus Protoss. Just no fear, no respect. And I think ASTREA is overcommitted right now. I don't think he can keep this up. I think at this point, BYUN sees you warping in there. There's no way you're going to get more damage done. Thinking about it. But no, it's not a good play. Oh, he goes for it. Crazy move, man. Widowmine goes down, but what's he going to get? Gets himself an SCV and a Widowmine, loses an Adept, a Zealot, a Stalker. It's a good trade for BYUN. BYUN's happy with that. He's going to get rid of your gateway now. Dark Shrine's coming in, but of course he'll go Raven. Cancels the Banshee and makes a Raven. What? Oh my god, he was making Cloak this whole time, and he's like, you know what? 1 Banshee's enough. ASTREA looks desperate. He warped units in there and tried to break a position that was never going to work. And BYUN's like, he's cheesing. Like, he just knows. And it makes perfect sense, guys. It's the same thing. Whenever we see a Zerg who's just throwing Ling Floods at you randomly and just throwing units into the meat grinder, you can sense desperation. And he senses it himself. And he's like, yeah, you're desperate. What could I lose to now? Raven. Not having a Raven. You know, Dark Templar. He's watching your stream, pig. Yeah. Or he's dealt with a cheesy Protoss before, and he knows how they think, right? One or the other. Here we go, guys. Banshee comes in, and that's going to be an anticlimactic finish to an epic series. That game 2 especially was pretty amazing. Game 1, pretty damn cool. But at the end of the day, ASTREA with his clever build orders, game 3, game 4, just could not find an opening. BYUN is so rock solid, doesn't need to scout, he just blocks things. The Widow Mine there was huge. If ASTREA had a probe to try and sacrifice to take that Widow Mine shot or something, I think he could have got a lot more momentum earlier. Or if he baited the Widow Mine shot with the Shade the first time, and then immediately killed it when it did the Unburrow Micro, maybe he could have got some damage done. But BYUN wins another tournament, gets revenge for losing to ASTREA earlier today, and he does it in style, just blocking all of ASTREA's moves, solid openings. Checkmate. GG, well played, BYUN.